borderline. All right, not too bad. Thought it was like
Walmart. 11 o'clock. You know, my sister recently committed suicide. She went to this church right here. It's called the Life Church. That's the church that she went to. They have a thing for kids, some kind of, I don't know what it is. But that's the church that was on her Facebook. I think she might have been baptized there too. Alright. Let me see it real quick. Hang on. Just give me a second.
Sure this was the right street?
Yeah, it's the right one. It would show. It was felt leaf.
Oh, I felt like I saw Safavius or something.
No, it showed on the thing.
Okay.
It was 4800 though, right?
Oh,
you
I
took
saw
a photo?
that street. Yeah, I did.
Right, you took a photo, okay.
Or maybe that's where we had to turn.
Well, it showed it on the map as the right street.
What's the number?
It was 4800, 4800. It was the only 4800 on the street.
Right there, that's Safaris. Where did I see Safaris?
Huh? You took a photo of it?
Yeah.
You took a photo, right?
But I never saw what the door supposed to look like.
But you took a photo of it.
That's where I got it as, though.
You took a photo though, right?
Yeah, not
Okay.
a personal photo.
Okay. You didn't take a personal photo. It was the right one. It showed on the map.
Okay.
It was the one that showed on the map. Meaning it led to that area. It was the only 4800 that
okay,
was...
maybe I just saw Safaris over there.
Right.
Well, there was a 4800 for Safarius over there.
Is that what it said on it?
That's what I
We were
think
following the map.
Right.
Okay, but that's what it said on it. They'd figure it out. If you took a photo, did it ask for a photo?
Yes.
Okay, so it asked for a photo, so you did an in-app photo, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then they would figure it out because it sends them that photo.
It's that corner house.
Right, it sends them the photo.
Hello, hi there. Can you verify the address, please?
4800 Southwest Drive.
All right, one moment. I do apologize. Hold on one moment. I'm pulling over real quick so I can write it down. 1 minute. Okay, I'm ready, sir. I'm pulled over. What is the address, please, again?
4800 Southwest Drive.
Can you please spell that? And the zip code, please?
76036.
Okay, I do apologize. On its way.
Okay, that's a real... She remembered. She's a genius. Go over this way. We were able to find it only by memory. She's an absolute genius. She has it right here. She did that by memory only. It was almost telepathic. Now she thinks, yeah, only a genius would do that. Just bring it up front. Just bring it up front. Bring it up front. Bring it up front. Okay, now we got to plug in the address because we got the address for the thing. Bring it up front. Bring it up front. Okay, time is the essence here. Okay, watch out. You remembered it. She remembered it exactly. Okay, watch out. That's genius level. Okay, move over this way, right over here. I knew you were a genius. Okay, now what happened? We don't know. We don't know how this happened. Okay, plug it in. No, hang on. Yeah, go ahead and plug it in. Plug it in. We know it's sassafras. Okay, 4800.
Yes.
Okay, what does that say right there? It says 4900, right? We have to go by the spelling. Open that book. Open the book that I have right here.
That's 4800 right there.
Right, 4800 is correct.
Yes.
Okay, look, sassafras is what it is. SSSA. Sassafras, yes, we're there. It's in Crowley. This is probably connected. This is what the police do. They do it spiritually. Just watch out right here, because we're studying the unified field. Move over this way. Hang on right here. USB. Shh, be quiet. We have to go through this right here. Okay, where's 4800?
Right there.
Okay, is he at the door?
I don't know.
Okay, shh, hang on. Turn off the fucking film spotting. Okay, over this way. Is that 4800?
I don't know.
Okay, look. Yes, it is. Go ahead and ring the bell on that one. Drop it off and ring the bell.
Ring the bell?
Yes, because he called.
And run off?
Yes. Ring
Do I talk to him?
Yes, no, just put it down and ring the bell.
Do I talk to him?
Go now.
Do I talk to him?
Run over there. Do not talk to him. Just ring the bell and run off. Okay, I got a shot here.
There's no bell to ring.
Just get in. Get in right here. Okay, you're not listening to instructions.
There's no bell.
Shh.
There's no bell. You're just doing this for your show when you're upset.
A lot of times it'll read the back side of the house, so it went to a cul-de-sac or behind the house. That can happen in many cases. Okay, so we did find the house. She knew by memory where she dropped it off in that neighborhood, which was very difficult. We were able to retrieve the order and drop it off to the right address because we wrote it down on paper. Well, we wrote it down on a notebook, and we were able to find it that way. So bring a notebook and paper or pen and paper so you can write it down just in case it goes behind the house or Google Maps gets you in the wrong address. And also beware of hackers too. We don't know if hackers are at play, but you may have to redo something to find it. We were able to find it, retrieve it, and we were able to drop it off in the right area. That one right here, Wendy's, and we're on our way right now. All right, we're headed to Wendy's, so we're almost there. Ran into a little bit of weird trouble. We don't know what happened. Something happened with the Google Maps or something. It took us to the wrong house. We don't know if it went behind the house or whatever. Linda was able to remember it by memory because we got detached, so we didn't have the address. So it is wise to take photos or videos while you're doing this so you can do a breadcrumb trail to get back to something that's lost. If you don't take any videos and stuff, it's harder without a breadcrumb trail. They're probably open at what, 2 or 3 in the morning?
Enough staff to
They don't
be
have a
open. Go to
lobby.
drive-thru.
Yeah, it's a drive-through. Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, the lobby's closed by now.
You
So
barely
we're turning around
you
this
barely
way.
get excellent. Well, you get very excellent service in
Right.
the drive-thru all the time.
And there's Wendy's this way.
Don't forget to get your biggie bag.
I mean, to you guys, it may not be a big deal, but it's us. If something gets scattered, it's a big deal to us. So we're trying to do the best we can. Hi.
Can I give it to the Wendy's? We'll be with you in just a moment.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We love Wendy's. They must be busy.
Well, they only work with 2 people. It's freaking Wendy's.
Ooh, that looks good. Tangerine twist with lemonade.
That's what she ordered.
Oh, okay. And then the Cajun Crunch. Wow, man, this looks great. So on the number 1, you got a David single, or you can make it a double or even a triple burger. It is $7.69. Calories are going to go up to 1150 on that triple burger. So that could be like half of what you need for the day. Then you could probably get a Baconator for later on in the day. That's 2 burgers that you would need for the whole day. That's 2,000 calories. Get a Dave single, and then maybe a Baconator, son of a Baconator, which would be $12.90. Or you could do a Dave's double, which is $1,200, and just jump over the calorie count of 2,000 for about 200 or 300 calories.
Sorry about the wait.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got it's basically a DoorDash for Ebony.
Ebony?
Yeah, Ebony.
All right, come on around.
Thank you.
It didn't sound like an
That was
ambulance.
for a burger. Wednesday.
Hey. Hope they're not looking for another DoorDasher. That's freaking the whole cavalry going for something.
No, the burger's $6.50.
We're in a little shaky place right now. Okay.
That's for the car. I think she was talking.
Oh yeah, thanks so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you. Get the drink. Get the drink.
it. Already got it.
I got the
Right
drink.
here.
All right, thank you.
What I'm gonna do, guys, when we're doing this, go ahead and go to the thing and screenshot. Let me turn off film spotting. Go ahead and double tap. Okay, double tap. Go to that one. Go ahead and screenshot it.
Let me look at the door.
That's a paper trail right there, or it's it's not more than a paper trail. It's
watch out for
Hansel and
traffic.
Gretel trail. It's a breadcrumb trail, right? So when you screenshot it that way, if something were to happen for whatever weird reason, hackers or whatever it is that causes a misdrop, okay, which is very unrare, if you screenshot it, you have the address. If you don't screenshot it, you can lose. Listen, it can happen. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, wrong house. Well, what's the address? And then you have to ask for the address and stuff. If you screenshot it, you're already going to have it on file. Did you screenshot that one?
Yes.
Okay, so screenshot it because that keeps, what that is it's a breadcrumb trail, okay? It's a breadcrumb trail that's going to lead you back or lead you where it is if you do a misdrop and all of a sudden you get a phone call. They're like, oh, that's not our house. Well, if you didn't screenshot it, then you have to get the address. You have to write the address down like we had to right then. That this way, oh, did you get that? Here, let me get that right there.
You focus on driving.
Yeah, just grab that. Just grab that for me. That way, if you have to write something down, you can write it down, or you can screenshot it. Misdrop. The only shot I had was this shot right here. That doesn't tell a whole lot, right? But it's late at night. That was the only thing I had. So I went back and looked at the footage, and I was like, that doesn't tell me anything. Because I couldn't get a side shot at the house or anything, and there was a couple people sitting outside, but they were neighbors down the road. She happened to remember just by seeing a sign that said Leaf. We were able to go back and find a road that was next to it that said Leaf, and we were able to go back to this maze of just remembering, and she was able to find where the food was. I don't know how she did it, but she said, oh, I remember the word Leaf. So she saw the word Leaf, I guess on a sign or something, and the other address we wrote down, so we were able to go back and write it down. I don't know how we did that. That was really crazy.
And he said, no, that's not it. Like,
Right,
yes, it
and then
is.
we wrote the correct address down and found it and dropped it off, and then we got a shot of that. So we did get a film of that. How you solve that problem is when you get an order, just go ahead and screenshot it. Then you can erase those later, so you don't have too many screenshots on your phone. You can just go and erase it later. When you screenshot something, it's like a breadcrumb trail to get back to where you were if there was a misdrop for whatever reason. These things sometimes can get confused because this is Google Maps. This is not the DoorDash. This is something different. It's connected to DoorDash, but it's actually something different. So it can get lost sometimes. And also watch out for cats. Because, the cats, they do like to cross in the middle of the night. It's a thing that they do.
Kitty.
Okay.
Added the following instructions. Leave at my door.
Should be this one.
Okay. The door's open. Just go ahead. Yeah, just go ahead and drop it off. Yeah, that's the drink over that one.
Oh, what happened to the fucking shit?
Okay. Let's not drop the F-bomb on that one. All right, let me sit real quick. Okay.
Now that you open up the trunk.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. Going a little later than usual tonight. Just kind of get caught up. And That's the time right there. So we will be going to about 12:30. Hopefully, around maybe closer. We can listen. You can always end the dash early, and it doesn't mean anything. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just you can always end the dash early. It doesn't make a difference on anything. It's just how it is, you know. So you schedule it, and you can always end it. So they don't. Either way, it's fine.
What Guy said.
I gotta go pee real quick.
Alright, yeah, I just got some information on a Hip Pocket. They'll be closing the Mad Dog Blues on Sunday, which is tomorrow. Looks like it's doing pretty good. Unfortunately, we just didn't make nearly enough extra to be able to spend $50 on 2 tickets, but it does look interesting. The characters look like they're somewhat endowed, and the music looks interesting, but we wouldn't be able to see it. Alright, did you get this? Alright, so you got both of them?
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to be 2 orders.
Yes.
Right there, and then you hit that one. Okay. Alright, so we'll start with the first one. Alright, so we got 2 orders. And this is going to be the first one right here. That's what the door looks like.
Alright.
Direction. And we take directions from my robot, or this phone, basically. Alright. That's how the future is. This way, and we look at this, which is right here.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
This one has a Whataburger, iced coffee, and a drink. The drink is the iced coffee and the Whataburger. Did get some information about what's going on at the 7-Eleven. Where are we, Burleson or Fort Worth? There's like 7 cop cars, or like there's a few more, and there was a chopper too, a police chopper. Something went on at 7-Eleven. What went on?
Oh, this lady at Whataburger was just over there. She heard from the clerk that some dude was trying to beat up some dude in an SUV and was trying to steal his car. SUV.
This is an attempted carjacking?
Yes.
Yeah, because they were over at Whataburger too. Well, the Piggy Poo. So actually someone did try to carjack them?
Yes.
Okay, that was at 7-Eleven?
Yes.
Now, when we were just at that 7-Eleven a while ago, what happened with that guy? He jumped over the counter?
Yes.
Yeah. There was some guy that jumped over the counter. He was a clerk. So he may have come back and tried to jump somebody's car. But it wasn't the clerk, was he? We don't know what happened. Yeah, the clerk jumped over the counter.
Because there was a beer run of $2.
There was it was a $2 run or something. It wasn't a beer run. You can't buy a beer under $2.
Yeah, well, two-ish. He probably bought a 20. He was
$2.
probably
short.
a teenage. Yeah. Well, no, I think he bought a 25-ounce beer, and then he was just
$2
ran out
short,
the door.
right? So he gave him half of the. That's different. Okay, but recently what ended up happening was there was a possible carjacking at the 7-Eleven. 5 cop cars were over there. There was a police chopper that just passed by when we were at Wendy's. So they're probably looking for a possible carjacker, or that's what they say. We don't know exactly what happened. It could have been just a fight between friends. We don't know where exactly. Nobody really knows. They have to look at the cameras and do the investigations. It's all alleged. But there were a lot of cop cars at that 7-Eleven, which is kind of weird. And then I went online. I looked at this thing about what went on with Hip Pocket. There was a play. Well, there's a play. There's a brilliant play by Sam Shepard called The Mad Dog Blues. That could be the energy in the air, the Mad Dog Blues opening. She's whistling in, but Mad Dog Blues is madness and blues at the same time. At the same time. Talking at the same time. She was just trying to insinuate we're in Lady Town. Ladytown is the address. Okay. Ladytown Lane. It's a little play that we're doing right now. Anyway, they're doing Mad Dog Blues. It's going to close. Sam Shepard's play is going to close at Hip Pocket tomorrow and Sunday, but we're not going to be able to make it, unfortunately, because of finance. Okay. Right there. Okay, got it?
I know, I'll make sure I got the right one. Where's the 5521? I can't see it.
Look on the curb. Look on the curb. Yeah, these addresses are like at night. It's difficult to find these addresses. Or it can be. You have to look on the curbs, or you can look above the door. Some cases, oh great. In some cases, you can look. Never mind. I don't want to get into all the detailed stuff right now. In some cases, it'll be on the house. But, like there's the curb. Sometimes it's on the curb. Sometimes it's on the house door. Things like that. When you were a kid, you used to go run and knock on people's doors in the middle of the night. All right, come on, let's go. All right, you able to see the address?
Yes.
Okay, it's on the side of the door. Okay.
Yes.
It's on the side of the porch.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
that's right.
There's the second Whataburger.
All right, there's the second drop. Okay. So it's going to reset. All right, so you should be able to reset it. The only problem is it plugged in? Yeah, you got to make sure it's plugged in. It's all technical. It's all you're working with computers. It's very high-tech kind of stuff. All right. Back in the day, you had to use a MapSco. When I first started delivery, when I was in Hollywood, I worked for a company called Go Between. We had a MapSco as a piece of paper. Well, it was more than a piece of paper. Well, when we were going to go somewhere like an audition, we printed out like 10 pieces of paper on a printer, and it would show this highway and this turn by turn going south, north by whatever on the Pacific Highway, whatever it was, you know.
Highway 1.
Right, Highway 1, whatever it was. We would actually print those. This is like 2001, about 25 years ago. Now, everything is electronic. But they had these electronics at Walmart in 2001. Yeah, in 2001, 2002. I was there in 2000, 2001. And then I got to New York later on. But when I was in Hollywood, we used MapScos. But you could buy one for $200 at Walmart. You could get these little pre-made. What is that that's rolling around? No, we'll talk about it later. But we get a pre-made. You could get. Well, it wasn't pre-made. It was preset. It was basically like, it was very similar to this. It looked like this a little bit. It was about this size. It was like a tablet almost, but it had all the addresses already in the program. Meaning it wasn't GPS. It would move around. It looked like it was GPS, but it was long. It was like its own little computer, and I think some of them were GPS, and some of them it just showed where the houses were and things like that. So they were just starting to get into GPS, where you could actually get a GPS one. Some of them did have GPS, and some of them were just like maps that were pre-programmed. It was like pre-programmed maps.
It's like that light on that.
Yeah, and then eventually they got the GPS, and now everything is just electronic, and it's like all computerized. GPS knowing exactly where you are, and it moves like that and everything. This came into effect about 20 years ago. So technology about 20 years old, and it's developed over time. But then they had GPS further than that. They probably had it 30 years ago, but they didn't have it made for the public 30 years ago. All about what DoorDash offers now is you can actually look at this and tap on it right here. It'll show you the door. So it shows you what the door looks like. I think these should be wider shots, but that's okay. You can still tell. I'll just exit out of that and just get a shot of the actual address where you have a bird come from. You see the actual.
Yes, we do.
You can't listen. You can't.
Sorry.
You can't
I
hide
need to
it.
watch out. There's stairs over here.
Look at this one right here. There it is. That way we can follow it and find it. Man, that's bumpy. Okay.
You hold the phone.
All right. Let's go. Stability in cinema. Believe me, this is anti-cinematic. Okay. We are not trying to make a movie masterpiece. We're just trying to tell a story. That's all we're trying to do. So we do believe in Texas werewolves. We don't know when they come out at night, but I did write a werewolf screenplay that I'm sending around to people. It is called Grace, aka Werevlog, and I have written it. If you're interested, you do have to pay. If you request it, you'll have to pay a fee. You can pay through my PayPal, and I recently just got Chime. So if you want to pay me through Chime, you can, and I will send you the screenplay. But it's a $10 reading fee. So you can pay me through Chime, or you can pay me through PayPal. And if you want to donate money too, I may end up finding out who you are and you can help me with part of the screenplay movie once we get it launched. But we are still looking for funders. We do have some people in mind. I do plan to send it to Grim Life Collective eventually to see what they think, because they did do a werewolf movie with Shelley Duvall before she passed away. But it's called Grace, basically, aka
300 feet,
Werevlog.
300 feet.
AKA Werevlog. Grace, aka Werevlog, is a working title. There they are. Isn't that nice? Isn't that something? Look at that. Look at this little thing right here. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. That's a very dangerous section right there, where we're at right there. Very dangerous. Yeah, it does smell like mesquite barbecue. Probably from barbecuing earlier today.
Sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah, let me see something real quick. Let me just grab this real quick.
I didn't get a good enough shot, sorry.
That's good enough. Just give me a second. So this is Crowley. I used to live here right around these tracks right here. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at though. There should be a Fast Taco right here. I live back that way. But this is Crowley. When I first moved here in 2004-ish, it's about 2004, none of this was here. There was a Tony's Pizza this direction, on the opposite direction, and I would walk down this way, and there was a bank right here where this thing is. I don't even know what this is. There was a bank right there, and I opened an account there and put my waiting money into that bank, and I lived right off Mustang. Well, on the other side of Mustang, and then I eventually moved to where Mustang is. My sister was married to a cop at the time, and he was kind of that's the bank. Yeah, they turned into a credit union now. Okay, and then she divorced him later on, and then she married a nurse administrator, and then she divorced him, and then married another cop, and eventually she did commit suicide, unfortunately. But this crossroad is still here. My sister lived down this way, down this road. This is Crowley, and this is Maine right here. She lived down on Maine, down that way. A bunch of cops used to live in this neighborhood over here. And one Christmas we went over there, and it was like the whole entire place was cops. They were all out of uniform, but it was just holiday, so you couldn't tell they were cops, but they were all cops in this one living room. And they gave me basically a grooming kit. This is when I met my first wife. And we lived, when we first got married, it was Sarah and I. She recently called me too, and I'm kind of upset about that because we've been divorced for a long time. We lived down this road down here. We're in Crowley, and we lived there for about 2 years. And then we moved, we lived there for 1 year, and then we moved to Mustang. Then we left Mustang and moved to Fort Worth, and we lived in Fort Worth for about 2 years on Ridgemar, and then about a year at White Settlement. Then I moved to Maine, and we got a divorce right before I moved, and I just did no contest on the divorce and signed all the paperwork. We had no children. We just had a cat. We had 18 cats at one time. Then we moved down to 4 cats. She was the one that called me and said, "Stop saying terrorist threats about the government." That was just a fictional book I was writing called Shepherds of Alaska. I haven't got back to it in a while. Kind of disturbed me that she called me, that she would say that. She was the one that introduced me to David Lynch in Dallas because she was in part of radio. We divorced, and then I moved to Maine. I lived in Maine for about 17 months. I worked in a factory for about 15 months. I came back here, and I met my second wife, and that's when I started a family. But not here. We did all that in Irving, Texas. I ended up moving to Irving. But I haven't been back here in a while. It has developed. But this used to be a Hoboken town, like majorly nothing, you know. There was a gas station up here called Last Stop Gas Station, and that was like one of their only gas stations back in the day. And now they have tons of stuff now. And Fast Taco was also something that they developed in Crowley and Burleson. They still have Fast Taco, but it's fancier and it's more expensive now. Anyway, we're leaving Crowley. We're going to head back to Fort Worth. And this is pretty much my third wife right here, which is Linda. So I've been married. This is my third marriage. So my first marriage, I was married for about 6 years. It didn't work out. And then my second marriage, I was married for about 5 years and I had 3 kids. It did work out, but the problem was that I think she was too religious and she was too wrapped up in the church, and her mom was too controlling. And listen, a mother-in-law can sometimes ruin a marriage. My mother-in-law was very controlling, or she was too needy and demanding, so that marriage did not work out. So your mother-in-law can sometimes get involved in a marriage. I've read about this in articles and stuff and talked to other people, that a mother can get too involved in your marriage. So I divorced my second wife, and I have not seen my kids since March, or my 3 kids, since March 9th of 2019. So it's been 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, nearly 6 years since I've seen my kids. It's been a really hard road. But Linda came about it was kind of a crazy freak accident that happened on Plenty of Fish. Because I would used to download this app that was a live app for Plenty of Fish. And it did have a phone on the app. Like you could actually call people. I don't know if you still can do this. but you can make phone calls on the app. And one time my app started ringing. It wasn't my phone. It was like the app within my phone. So I answered the app, and that was Linda. And I was like, hey, I never download this app. It's weird that you called me. Then she gave me her phone number, and then I called her, and we've been together since, 2020?
Yes.
Yeah, since 2020. We used to live out in Carrollton. We lived in Carrollton for 2 years. We had cops knocking on our door all the time. We had a band. See, Linda and I first started off in a band. We were in a band called the Linda and Cole Band. We also call it the Cole and Linda Filmmaker Band, which is on Bandcamp. We have an EP on Bandcamp under the Cole and Linda Filmmaker Band, but we're also known as the Linda and Cole Band. Also the L&C Band. And we're also known as the Amateurs. And we haven't decided if we're going to call ourselves the Professionals, but we have stopped playing for a while because it's endangered us. So when we would rehearse and stuff, people would bang on our wall because we only had acoustic instruments. Linda mostly played drums and she was backup vocal, and I played an acoustic guitar. We didn't have electric instruments, but we did use a Bluetooth, and we did at one time used a iTouch on GarageBand for instruments too. We would use the iTouch to put it up next to a microphone, but we didn't amplify anything. Everything was acoustic, but we did use a microphone, and we would record around the microphone. Sometimes we get a little rowdy with the acoustic stuff, so people would bang on our walls, and then eventually the door, and Carrollton police would come over and bang on our door, and we would be in there singing or recording something, and then we had to leave after a while. So it's real difficult if you don't have a safe studio to record in, because apartments don't like it. Yeah, if you're a band, you have to watch out. So we've kind of turned over to being vloggers because you can be quiet. I do a lot of headphone stuff. So when I go home, I just put on my headphones, and I can do all my editing and listen through my headphones. And listen, we had a neighbor, and this is no joke. This is actually true. This is true, right? This is a true story.
Yes.
We had a neighbor that would bang, this is recently, bang on our ceiling. I'm not going to say if we're upstairs or downstairs because I'm not going to give out our location, but bang on our ceilings because of the sound that was coming out of the headphones. Yeah, out of the headphones. Listen, I don't know how this neighbor was listening to what was coming out of the headphones, but he was banging on the ceiling because of the noise coming out of the headphones. All right? Which you can put those on your ears. It doesn't make any noise at all. Why was he? We did not figure out why this neighbor was banging. And listen, I made a thing on Facebook saying this neighbor was banging on the ceiling because of the noise coming out of the headphones. We weren't making a sound. So I literally stopped breathing, did not move at all, and he was still banging on the freaking ceiling. Okay, whether it was upstairs or downstairs, none of your business. But he was banging for whatever reason, basically for no reason. So this went on for how long? It was like 2 o'clock in the banging. When was the banging going on? 2 o'clock in the morning?
I don't know, 11 to 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 1 to 3 in the morning.
Maybe he was just moving in. I don't know.
We don't know if he was moving in. We don't know why there was
We don't
banging.
know.
But the only noise was coming from the headphones. Okay, which you listen, put the headphones in a closet, you can't even hear it. I mean, I put the headphones down, barely could even hear it. So I turned the volume of the headphones down. And finally, around 3 in the morning, the banging stopped. But headphones are not that noisy. Anyway, we don't know why the guy was banging on the ceiling, whether it was upstairs or downstairs, none of your business. But it did happen. And I did report that on my Facebook. And you know what was weird? Was after I reported it on my Facebook, the banging actually stopped. So I don't know if the guy was a fan and moved in under stairs. We don't know if he was a squatter. We don't know where the banging was coming from. But it was like bang, 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 bang. And it would come from like the ceiling, right? And it was like this area of the ceiling, then that area of the ceiling. Now, whether it was the floor or, ceiling is actually above, right? But it could have been his ceiling or my ceiling. You see what I'm saying? So whether it was the floor or the ceiling, I won't let you know because that would give out which over on or if we're on the first or second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth, seventh floor. We're not going to tell you where we're at, because I don't think you know exactly. But you could probably do the math if you find out where the arson happened, because we had an arson happen at our place. It didn't make local news. But we haven't got back to music lately. If we do rehearse, we're going to rehearse in the middle of the afternoon. We're not going to rehearse at night. We're not that stupid anymore. We've lost 2 places doing that because it's too noisy. What we'll do is we'll rehearse in the afternoon when we think the neighbors aren't around or they can't be like a problem, It's real risky if you're a band and you live in apartments. It's better to live in a house if you're a band and you have like a garage that you can put padded, like a mattress or something up. Kind of like Adam the Woo did whenever he used to play the bass. He had a mattresses that he would put up. And anyway, Adam the Woo was once in a band. He also vlogs. He was in Guttermouth. But we do like Guttermouth, but we're not the biggest fans. We do like Green Day, though. We like Green Day. We like No Doubt. She likes 311. My favorite band is Sun Kill Moon. So anyway, we don't know when we'll get back to rehearsing and releasing music, but we did release some music, and it's going to be under Cole Spivey's channel. And a lot of times I do put the Linda and Cole Band. All right, you have a good. It's gone into a weird state because I gave it a long monologue. These are after effects of the. Are you okay, sweetie? She goes into some weird states sometimes. She's also a backup singer and also a drummer. I asked Linda if she wanted a cookie. She said alcoholics don't like cookies. I don't agree with that. I think sometimes they do, they just don't realize it. But look what she did to this cookie. That was in her bag for 2 days. This is a new cookie right here that I got. The chocolate chips are really good. That's what she did to the cookie. Why'd you do that to the cookie?
You made me mad and I hid it from you.
Yeah, she pulverized my cookie.
Yes.
Because she was trying to get revenge.
Yes.
That's what she does to cookies.
Yes.
You are truly a cookie monster. There's the other cookie
Don't
right
forget
there.
about the vanilla bean ice cream.
Well, we can put it in ice cream, and then we can resurrect the cookie.
And enjoy by May 31st, 8:20 a.m. Oh, so you're about 16 hours late.
We pulled the whole 6 taco thing, so. All right. And then a handful of hot sauce, so. It's only $5.81, so. It's, it's just
Yeah, the
super.
homeless people were
Yeah, it's
jumping
just super tight right here. Goodness gracious, that's very tight quarters, right? Okay. Just saying,
I'm gonna make it leave the line.
I guess once you're in the line, it's like a log ride, at Six Flags or something.
Don't lose your hat.
Bless you. Got the tacos that we needed for the day, and they did give me a receipt, so I'll be able to add that to the points in the Jack in the Box app. So we'll be headed back. Linda put out a really big sneeze. Are you okay? Something sneezy around here. And there's a Jack in the Box. This is a lot of problems with this Jack in the Box. I was assaulted right over there by the batteries and bulbs, and cops saved my life being choked to death. Thank goodness. Now, it's really, they've cleaned it up a little bit. It is a little dangerous on this area. I'm talking about this area right here. Where did my glass case thing go? You know that thing that holds the glasses?
I don't know. I see a dead body.
I know, I had it in my hand, like, what is it? It's a little gray thing. You see where it's at?
No, I don't.
You didn't see where the glass case went?
Look, there's spikes on top of there.
What is
spikes? There's spikes on top of the dumpster?
Oh, yeah, they do it there so people won't climb over on the dumpster thing.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see that gray glass thing?
Yes, it's right over there. Come on, let's go.
What?
I don't like this area.
Oh, it's right here. Okay.
Airplane.
Only not up $1, he ends up down $2 because he can't say no to the other 2 people who show up and say, oh, I lost $1 in the theater.
Sunday.
Fine. Yeah, I don't know about that. A couple weeks back, prompted by sheer sadism and Valentine's Day, we asked you to choose one and only one.
Films or I love this movie because of its amazing stunts. But now let's get to the stunts because they're amazing. Did you have a favorite one? We can talk about, and I'm sure we'll get into when he steps into the screen and everything happens outside of that. But I absolutely love, and this just comes when he's following.
I don't get to answer first? Come on.
Okay, go
I hope
ahead.
you don't.
Go
no.
ahead.
I hope you don't say the same one as me, Josh, but it's just so.
And Yes.
All right, so the commercial went like this. I'm sorry, hang on. All right, the commercial went... One more time. Take 3. All right, the commercial went like this. It went like this. South on 30... So it went... Southtown Ford, south on 35's... Yes, right. Southtown Ford, south on 35, Alsbury exit, Fort Worth. It was an old commercial for a dealership, for a car dealership. It went Southtown Ford, that was the name of the dealership. Southtown Ford, south on 35, Alsbury exit, Fort Worth. It used to come on television all the time. We have some Mexican food or something. I don't know what's wrong with the Whataburger. Yeah, boy. And you have to replace those screens, my goodness. Okay, don't fiddle too much, okay?
And I was so stunned by how he was hitting the pool balls, honestly, that I was...
So DoorDash does this thing where they ask for a photo. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We always try to take a personal photo, just in case. Freaking Guinea. There's mafia that used to live under here, but they've all been busted.
Glasses were fogging up.
Here, give it to me.
I completely didn't get. Glasses were fogging up. All right.
It's real humid out. And
Cool. You did?
yeah.
Cool.
It's a Casa.
Costa.
My favorite fast food. One of them. Yeah, I like Taco Casa. It's good.
You like all food.
All right, let's go over this way. Man, that guy had one hairy freaking back. I'll tell you that.
Ooh.
Like some Guinea living out here or something. All right.
Handstand. Oh, I've seen that.
So Cher did live out here. We're talking about the goddess of pop, the one that was in Moonstruck. She lived in Burleson. That's Burleson. When she lived here, there were no paved roads. It was all dirt roads when she lived here. She lived here off and on because her mother remarried several times. And they moved into Texas for a while. And this is where she lived. She lived in this area. When she was in high school, she didn't know what to do. So she said, I'll just become famous. My favorite sandwich place is Schlotsky's when it comes to sandwiches. Crazy. What was that dog doing?
Oh no, he scared me going around the corner. Oh, I barely got that.
All right, cool.
Barely.
Cool.
I wasn't looking up. I was looking at my damn phone.
All right, go ahead and plug it in.
One moment. A hotspot popped up, so make sure it's not the hotspot.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
I'm doing it right now as we speak.
All right.
Go ahead.
And
So we're at 75. You do 36 and 39.